Countless people will tell you that Northern Michigan is the best place in the country to live. Does this surprise you? Believe it or not, tons of people are relocating to this area, and by the end of this video, you will understand why. Today, I will talk about two of the most popular areas in Northern Michigan, Petoskey and Charlevoix. While these two towns are only about a half hour apart, each one offers a very different style of living, and today I'm going to help you understand which one of these two will better suit your lifestyle. After living in Northern Michigan for over 40 years and helping around 600 people either buy or sell a house, today I wanted to share with you the difference between living in these two areas. So if you want to know which one of these two towns is best for you, make sure you stay until the end of the video where we'll talk about the differences, including price, lifestyle, and other aspects. Let's start with location, because let's face it, when you're thinking about relocating to an area, location is the first thing you're going to consider. Charlevoix is located about 4 hours north of Chicago and about 1 hour north of Traverse City. It's much smaller than Petoskey, and it's located between the shores of Lake Michigan and Lake Charlevoix. Charlevoix has a little over 2,300 year-round residents, which does make it quite a bit smaller than Petoskey. Petoskey, on the other hand, is about 30 minutes north of Charlevoix, located on the shores of Little Traverse Bay. It is quite a bit larger than Charlevoix with 6,000 year-round residents. This means that you can still be part of a small community while having the amenities you need for day-to-day life. Both of these communities offer tremendous lakefront living, also the ability to live with a little bit more elbow room compared to living in a big city. While location is important, when you're relocating to a new area, location isn't the only thing you're considering. And you're probably wondering, how does living in Charlevoix differ from living in Petoskey? Let's start with Charlevoix. One of my favorite things about Charlevoix is their downtown, and an interesting aspect of their downtown is the main way in and out of Charlevoix runs smack dab through their main street, meaning while you're driving into or out of Charlevoix, you're going to see all the cozy shops, restaurants, and other fun things to do in Charlevoix. On the other side of the street, you're going to see the water. There's a marina on Round Lake, which feeds into Lake Charlevoix, that has some tremendous looking houses, as well as boats and an outdoor amphitheater. While Charlevoix does have a great downtown, what might surprise you is a lot of Charlevoix is very rural, meaning a lot of the buyers that we have helped relocate to Charlevoix have chosen to buy a property out in the woods or away from everything. And to be honest, that is something that makes Charlevoix very interesting. There are just so many different types of living in Charlevoix. I truly believe that Charlevoix has something for everyone. Whether you want to live on the water in a big house with your boat in the backyard, a downtown condo, or even a farm out in the country, Charlevoix has something for everyone. Also, given the size of Charlevoix, it makes it perfect for somebody looking for a laid-back lifestyle. There's not a lot of hustle and bustle, and people love the stress-free living that Charlevoix provides. Charlevoix is a tight-knit community, and there are several organizations dedicated to preserving the lakes. Now let's talk about Petoskey. As I mentioned before, Petoskey is much bigger than Charlevoix with about 6,000 year-round residents and countless more in the summertime. Petoskey does have a lot bigger downtown and many more homes in their downtown district, including the beautiful Victorian homes that you see driving into Petoskey on Mitchell Street. I'd say each of these towns have their own take on what living in Northern Michigan means. But to really know for sure, I think we need to take a look at what each town offers for entertainment. If you're enjoying this video, please take a second to hit the subscribe button and like this video. The bigger this channel gets, the better videos I can make and the more educated I can help you become as a home buyer in Northern Michigan. Whether you're considering relocating to Northern Michigan or just curious what the area is like, my videos will help you save hours of time doing research. Now let's talk about things to do in each town. Of course, one of the focal points of living in any Northern Michigan town is the water. Now, while both Petoskey and Charlevoix have waterfront amenities, they are both a little bit different. One thing that I love about Charlevoix is that it's centered around Round Lake, meaning when you're walking around downtown, it feels like you are living right on the water. There's also a really cool amphitheater at the waterfront that has countless concerts every year, as well as a splash pad and even a small trout pond for the kids. Also, Charlevoix has a great beach on Lake Charlevoix called Ferry Beach. That is where the Venetian Festival kicks off every year, and it's a great place to swim or even kayak. However, Petoskey does have its own water amenities. One of my favorite places to swim in Petoskey is Petoskey State Park. It's about a mile of sugar sand beach on a protected bay that is a great place to spend the day. And when you're talking about being outside, it's not all about the water. Petoskey and Charlevoix are also connected by the Little Traverse Wheelway, which is a paved bike path that actually starts in Harbor Springs, which is a little bit north of Petoskey, and circles around the bay into Charlevoix. I can't tell you how many times I've ridden the bike path from Petoskey to Charlevoix and back. And if you're wondering, it's about 30 miles round trip. Also, if you're looking for things to do in the winter and skiing is important to you, you're going to love Petoskey's proximity to the ski hills. From downtown Petoskey, you're a short 10-minute drive to both Nubbs Knob and Boy Highlands for skiing. Both Petoskey and Charlevoix are also very historic towns. From the mushroom houses in Charlevoix to the big Victorian houses in downtown Petoskey, these areas are filled with history. Also, if you're sightseeing in Charlevoix, Castle Farms is a place you have to stop at. They've just started selling wine, and Castle Farms is one of the most prominent wedding venues in all of northern Michigan. It is literally a castle located just outside of downtown Charlevoix, and once upon a time used to have some of the biggest names in entertainment, from Garth Brooks to Reba McEntire. If you're interested in the arts, Petoskey has the Crooked Tree Art Center, which has a bunch of paintings on display and many touring stops that you're going to want to see. So if you appreciate history and culture, you're going to love both of those areas for that aspect. The last thing you should consider, and my personal favorite when relocating to northern Michigan, is the food scene. Let's start with Charlevoix. Charlevoix is one of the most underrated foodie towns in all of northern Michigan. They've got everything from farm to table to even some French cuisine. And if you're looking for something a little bit more healthy, the Salad Fork is one of my favorite stops. Also, there are two hidden fine dining restaurants that you may not know about. One is the Argonne Club, which is located on Boyne City Charlevoix Road, which is kind of in an area you wouldn't expect a restaurant. Also, there is Gray Gables, which is located right downtown, and it's amongst a residential area, which makes it a super interesting place to have dinner. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I love the Petoskey food scene. Whether you want to go to dinner at Chandler's or have a casual lunch at Jose's, Petoskey truly has something for everyone. And as an insider tip, my favorite place for a great meal is actually located in the Inn at Bay Harbor, and it's a small restaurant called Vintage. Now, while you do pay a little bit of a premium because it is inside of a hotel, I promise you it's worth it. And this is just a brief overview on what the food scene is actually like in northern Michigan. Please drop a comment below if I've missed your favorite restaurant, and tell the community what your favorite dish is. Now that we've gotten the fun aspects of relocating to northern Michigan out of the way, let's talk about what's really important, the home prices. Now, I'm sure you've heard both Petoskey and Charlevoix have gotten a lot more expensive in recent years than they once were. But I promise you, there are still values to be had. Also, something that's really interesting when you're choosing between Petoskey and Charlevoix is, although they're only 30 minutes apart, the home values can be drastically different, and even the types of homes available in each market can be drastically different. Let's start with Charlevoix. Now, although Charlevoix has gone up in value over recent years, it is still considerably more affordable than Petoskey is. In fact, I can't tell you how many times somebody has called me to buy a home in Petoskey and has ended up in Charlevoix sheerly based on price alone. If you're just getting your career started and you're looking for a starter home, or even considering downsizing, you're going to like the options available in Charlevoix much better than Petoskey. In fact, you can buy a house in Charlevoix starting for right around $300,000. Which is still higher than it once was, but much more affordable than Petoskey is. And even though the prices are a little bit less in Charlevoix, you're still going to get a very similar lifestyle as you would from living in Petoskey. Now, you might not be as close to some of the amenities that you want, but you're still going to have access to the water and hiking trails and everything that makes living in northern Michigan desirable. And as I mentioned before, there's a really nice mix in Charlevoix between urban and rural living. And I use the term urban lightly because there's really no urban living in northern Michigan. However, urban living in northern Michigan is considered living downtown where you can walk to the local shops and restaurants. And if you're wondering, the average price in Charlevoix this year has been right around $395,000. Now let's talk about Petoskey. It seems like every day I get a call from somebody wanting to relocate to Petoskey. They've either always wanted to retire here or have the remote job that allows them to work from anywhere and have decided to work in Petoskey. However, unfortunately, the prices in Petoskey have gotten almost unattainable for a lot of people. And now a lot of people think just because I'm a realtor and I get paid a commission for the houses that sell, that that's a good thing. And while I'm very happy for the people that have owned their houses here forever and have turned them into a great investment, I think it's really unfortunate that it's a lot harder to move to Petoskey than it once was. In fact, although there are less expensive houses, if you're thinking about relocating to Petoskey and you need a house with 3 to 4 bedrooms, plan on spending right around $500,000 as a start. And if you want a big Victorian house or something newer located downtown, plan to spend right around $1 million. Now I know that's very expensive, but if you compare the total package of what the lifestyle living in Petoskey is like to other areas around the country, there is still a portion of the population that considers Petoskey a value. So let's face it, when it comes to finding a home in either Petoskey or Charlevoix, there are a fair number of options to choose from. The most important tip I can give you as you begin your home search is make a list of wants and needs. It's very important to make sure you find a house that has all of your needs while checking off as many of your wants as possible. It's also important to make sure you have a great agent on your side. You need somebody that knows the area in and out and may even know about properties that are for sale but not on the public market. With that said, it's time for the final choice. Which area sounds right for you? In my opinion, you should pick Charlevoix if you want to be close to the water, yet with a much more affordable price point. And you should pick Petoskey if you want to be close to the amenities like grocery stores and the hospital and have a much bigger downtown. But regardless, I don't think you can make a bad choice when picking between these two towns. And if after watching this video, you'd like to learn more about what it would be like to relocate to either Charlevoix or Petoskey, please reach out to me directly at 231-487-6141. And if you're interested in other towns in Northern Michigan, check out this video I did pitting Petoskey against Harbor Springs. It has tons of useful information that will help you decide which side of Northern Michigan is right for you.